Grenades. Be they frags, pineapple, smoke, flashbang, nine-banger, or even the humble 40 Mike. Review to come on this as soon as I'm able to actually get 40mm grenades. Consider donating to the PayPal and Cash App down below. Yes, there's just something about the humble grenade. A handheld explosive device that allows you to essentially clear out a room, or get that epic kill, or even just creating an entire vest of the damn things, literally going into a room, pulling the string, and yelling, "Aloha snack bar!" The grenade, be it video games, movies, comics, anything, is, without a doubt, one of the most innovative inventions of combat or non-lethal that has ever graced mankind. So it's a no-brainer that in airsoft, paintball, Nerf, and even gel ball, there is a equivalent to it. Be it from Taggin to Enola Gay, or even other equivalents of a pyrotechnic grenade. But if you're a poor boy like me, then you have to opt for the spring options. Now I hear you asking, what spring options? Well, there is a variety of them, but the most common that you will see, be it on evike, Alibaba, Wish.com, NF Strike, any website that does gel ball, airsoft, Nerf, or otherwise, is essentially two variants. The fat boy and the skinny boy. So let's talk about them, shall we? Now, yes, I understand many of you have already started rolling your eyes and are probably about to click off the video. Hear me out before you do. Because, here's the thing, spring grenades do have a place, be it in, of course, Nerf, gel ball, or even airsoft and paintball, simply because it depends on the place you're going to. Now, obviously with Nerf, you're not taking pyrotechnic grenades into a field with other children that are just slinging foam, or even rival balls. So, obviously, let's go ahead and put that in an obvious category. When it comes to gel ball, airsoft, and paintball, on the other hand, it depends on the field, or the site, as many of my European viewers will call it, or many European brothers and sisters in the airsoft world will call them. So, the question kind of comes down to why spring grenades are an option and why you should really look at them. Simply put, spring grenades, while many will automatically say, oh, they're going to break easy, you'd be surprised, because I've actually seen a lot of people be rough with these things and they not break unless you are intentionally trying to break them. They are contact point impact grenades, meaning that once they are full to the gill of either BBs or gel ball, or even some paintball balls inside the actual grenades themselves, you'd be surprised how well these things have actually done. Even with me, whenever I had an opportunity to actually use these things as actual grenades, I did not see these things get damaged once. I did, of course, try to keep a method to where I didn't have to lose a pin with them. But what really blew my mind is that these things actually are durable, and we are going to see that with the test. So I think the big thing that really a lot of people need to look at is the fact of these grenades are a viable option if you're a poor boy, or if your site does not allow, or field, mind you, does not allow pyrotechnic grenades. And the best part is that these things come in a variety of options, especially the big boys, the fat boys. And I mean that. These things have been reshelled, reskinned to look like smoke grenades. And that is a nice little trick to actually use to fool someone. It's like, oh, he's got a smoke grenade. Obviously, it's not an actual grenade. Then, of course, you pull the pin, throw the sucker in there, and it's like, hit! You get showered with BBs. Even the scrawny boys, these right here, have been actually reshelled to look like actual flashbangs. And that is ingenious. Because as soon as someone sees a flashbang go in there, their automatic, immediate response is to look away. Not get peppered and showered with BBs. Again, clever. Very, very clever. that's not all. I have seen these grenades actually reshelled up to look like not only, of course, the classic baseball grenades, the M67s, but even look like good old-fashioned pineapples. Oh, damn. I'm joking. It's it's been deactivated, so no worries. So I guess the final thing is that why would one want this? Well, again, like I said before, and I've pointed out many times in this video, it all depends on the site. If your field/site allows for pyrotechnics, that's awesome. If it does not, then a spring grenade is a good option. And once again, I'm just saying this as someone who is probably going to get a lot of hate in the comments section for saying it, but spring grenades are a better alternative and a good use of all those .12 BBs you have laying around. As someone who has literally a thing full of .12s, you cannot deny the fact that you have a ton of .12s laying around and you don't know what to do with them. Well, spring grenades are a good option to actually use for them because they don't exactly go out hard. It's more or less a pepper people with them in a 360-degree area, or depending on how many, which side is actually facing, the people are facing when the grenade is deployed. Now, enough of my gabbing, let's go ahead and talk about the grenades themselves, or at least the two models that I have. I definitely want to talk about the different models of grenades that are currently on the market. So let's get the Fat Boy and talk about the Fat Boy. The Fat Boy actually made its debut, technically, on Lord Draconical's channel as a Nerf grenade. It wasn't until it was quickly picked up for Gel Ball and Airsoft that people started realizing these things have a viable option outside of Nerf, because originally these were Nerf grenades. Now they're gel ball and paintball and airsoft. So the question is, how do you fill this thing up with BBs? Well, that's actually easy to do. You literally flip it over, you have this little bit right here, you twist this, and there you go. That's where you fill in your BBs. And by BBs, I mean almost an entire magazine's worth of BBs. I'm not joking on this. And I mean this. Heck, there's even a BB lodged in there. Because I mean it when I say that this thing has the capacity of over 300 BBs. This thing is basically a 300 round high cap. I've been able to actually fit 500 BBs in this sucker. So essentially, this has the capacity of a AK high cap. But once you get this thing full of the capacity, you literally lock it down. And when it's locked down, it essentially engages, which this is a safety feature, mind you, this bit right here, this nice little ball that you can actually remove and modify if you want here and there, but essentially this ball is engaged. Again, it's one of those things of the ball's engaged, and any sort of jostling movement will basically engage it. So when you pull the pin and you literally flip the spoon free and you go and basically throw it, it's going to jostle and do that. Which shows the 3 little reservoirs that are in this sucker. And again, this is one of those things of, dear God Almighty, this thing is going to flame out fast, which is why you want to use .12s, because .12s are going to be your best friend in a spring grenade. But the best part is that it shows us exactly what this thing looks like having a spring lock system. So right now, I'm just going to close this up. And what you want to do is you want to try and get this locked up like this. Like that. Throw that down. Put the pin back through here. And bada bing, bada boom, that's how you do it. Now, this is, of course, the 6mm Pro Shop, which is basically their evike line of grenades, but you can get these on Amazon, either reshelled as the smoke grenades or whatever. Now let's go to the other grenade and actually talk about, so let's get the Skinny Boy and talk about that. So the Skinny Boy is sort of like a pseudo flashbang. It's got these nice little, like, things here to make it seem like, oh, this is how it goes. But, same thing except different bottom. It definitely allows for a better thing. You want to press down, pull up, and in this case, it is spring-loaded, which is actually very nice. This is able to hold up to about 300 to 350 BBs. So unlike the Fat Boy that can hold up to almost 500 BBs, this sucker is about the same as a basic AR mid-cap, or at least a Snag magazine mid-cap, between 300 and 350 BBs. But, much like the Fat Boy, which once you get this thing finagled in there, and you lock it down, you pull the pin, flip the spoon, and once again you have that nice little ball in there that basically is, once again, once jostled, if I can get to basically jostle, ow! It once again does that. And once again, just, yeah. Again, it's one of those things of this thing is, oh, so much fun to try and rearm. So, okay. But again, it's a lot smaller, meaning that it's a little bit lighter, and you don't have to worry about the BBs. Like, again, as much as 0.12 grams is not as heavy as we like to think. Remember the old saying, ounces equal pounds, pounds equal pain. So, again, if you're really wanting to get some spring grenades, my recommendation, get a bandolier or at least like a old strap that you're not using to carry around like a computer case and load up on these things and get ready to get your Schwarzenegger on, or Stallone, or any sort of action movie, which, believe me when I say that, they do come in these basic colors, sadly. They only come in blue, green, gray, red, and then blue again. Then again, these are the only colors I've ever gotten in from the evike boxes of awesomeness. So, yeah. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead, load up not only, of course, the Skinny Boy, but also the Fat Boy of BBs, get a measuring tape, and see how far these things actually spread out outside. Shall we? Now, something you don't want to do is you don't want to fill this up too much because then it won't jam a bit. But I think that's pretty good and load up for the Fat Boy here. So let's just go ahead and get this sealed up. Yep. Yeah. Good thing is flat top, great for easy loading. This one, however, not so much. So yeah, this is gonna be a fun thing to try and load. So let's just go ahead and get her like that. And that's literally full. That is a full grenade. That is literally full. That is a full grenade. That is not being filled anymore. So we're just going to shove them in there, try and get as much space as possible taken up, which is going to be not recommended. I wouldn't recommend for that, but it's, yeah. Let's go ahead and get it, there we go, all nice and locked up. Shaker still, so let's get to the testing range. I have with me right here about a 6 foot wide measuring tape, because really that's the only one I've got at the moment. The other one is sadly missing. So, yeah, but 2 grenades, we're going to drop it right at the 3 foot mark here, and we're going to see how spread out these things actually can send out in terms of a 360-degree thing. Now, I'm not going to toss them in. I'm just going to pull the pin and drop it for the most effective scientific data. And of course, I will be wearing safety glasses, and I'll try and make this as slow motion as possible for those cool things. So, yeah. Let's get scientific, shall we? Alright, dropping the large grenade in 3, 2, 1. No detonation. So the spoon flipped, but no detonation. So let's try again. Straight up drop. Dropping in 3, 2, 1. I'm not impressed. Okay, I'm just gonna straight up yeet this thing. Just a hard throw on the ground. It wants to open. It wants to detonate. Well, it detonated that time. Okay, so in terms of it being at the 3-foot mark, and obviously that, we definitely see BBs much further out than we expected. There's one here, but the farthest I've found so far is about here. So, well, actually, no, that's a lie. Actually, the first I've found is here. So the farthest spread in terms of the big boy is pretty decent, actually. The definitely goes past 6 feet. So we're probably looking at a 7-foot spread, but then again, there's also a BB right here and one right here. So I guess it depends mileage-wise, but the majority of this grenade would probably be used for basic room clearing. So let's reset for the small one and see what we're getting. Hoping for even a basic detonation of the small grenade. In 3, 2, 1. Let's try that again. Holding the spoon open now in 3, 2, 1. Okay. That just happened. Okay, so here's where the grenade detonated-ish. And the BBs, from what I've found so far, there is one here. Although then again, that one actually spread a lot further than expected. So, yeah, in terms of actual spread, this is much more beyond. Oh, there's another one right there, beyond 6 feet. There's another one right there. I'm just looking all over to find where the BBs landed, because that thing shot them upward. Like, yeah, that actually. Okay. So let's reset and try another test. So something that's always common with the use of these grenades is being used in a simulated room clearing. Basically just used for room clearing and CQB. Well, I do have technically items that could count as walls for a CQB type scenario, so we're going to fill these up. And we're going to do a CQB test, like a room test, to see if they hit anything within that small space. So let's fill them up and see how they perform in a simulated CQB setting, shall we? right behind me is exactly about what a room would be in terms of a CQB field. We got a barrel here, we got a barrel there, we got a pile of wood there, which is about roughly 5 feet away from each other. Now, in a basic CQB field, the 5 feet, or at least the less than 10 feet rule would be a thing, but when it comes to grenades, especially spring grenades, that rule does not apply. So just pull the pin, throw it in, does it hit anybody? And that is my question, of whether or not these things will deploy when treated like actual grenades. Once again, we got safety because safety and science. So, pulling the pin on the large grenade, the version 1 of the spring grenade, we're going to toss it and we're going to see if this thing deploys with ample force. So, spoon flicked, fire in the hole. Yes, it does, and it did hit the barrel. Well, actually hit that barrel, it didn't even hit this barrel, so yeah. So, now we have the V2. The V2 is a much more slimmer, much more skinny, much more basic much more slim, much more skinny, and much more basic aerodynamic design, based off, of course, a flashbang grenade that is primarily used by SWAT teams and counterterrorism units when actually facing CQB situations or clearing a room. Much like the larger V1 grenade, it did spout out a lot of BBs. But with a much more slimmer design, the question is, less BBs equal more outplayers? Or even just anything? Well, that's what we're about to find out with science! So, once again, the barrel here, barrel there, pile of wood there. Which will it hit? And I will try my best to put in the center between the three. So, pin pulled, spoon flicked, fire in the hole. Not even deployed. So I found out the issue. The ball, which is basically the gyroscope inside the thing, did not deploy. Did not come unlodged. So it means I've got to give this thing more vigor. So, once again, spoon flicked, pin pulled, more vigor, fire in the hole. Once again, pin pulled, spring flued, fire in the hole. Well, it hit me. Unintentional test subject, because apparently the way this thing was designed, it was designed primarily so that way when the bottom, the reason that bottom is spring powered, apparently the bottom actually actuates the gyro that's up top here that actually releases and ignites the grenade. Because that's a smart design. And I can attest that yes, technically speaking, it does work and would work for room clearing. So, much as I hate to say it, this is, I guess the reason why they slimmed it down was to be much more durable, because I threw this thing with as much force as I possibly could, and I have not damaged it. Which is actually a good thing, I guess I could say. But, in terms of a CQB grenade, maybe smaller, maybe slimmer, requires much more force. The big grenade, the fat grenade, doesn't require that much force to actually deploy the thing. So, personal choice, I guess. But, ladies and gentlemen, the other question is, how durable is this thing? Well, I just literally chucked it into the ground to deploy the thing, so if you really need another demonstration, then by all means. That was the V2. How about the V1? V1, how durable is it? Let's find out. Suffice to say, both survive. A little scuffed up, but not broken as many would claim they would be. So, yeah. Testing now done. Let's get back inside and give the final verdict on these things, and whether or not you should invest in spring grenades. Shall we? So yeah, be they the fat boy or even the skinny boy, spring grenades are actually pretty effective, as what we saw with the test outside. And let's be honest here, ladies and gentlemen, these are not as bad as people try to make them out to be. In reality, the plastic is actually pretty good and durable. Well, mostly the airsoft variants, or at least we say that, but in reality it's just the gel ball variants. These are great for CQB fields that don't allow pyro, but they will allow for spring grenades. And again, let's just be honest here. It's great and affordable for those of us who want grenades, but don't want to shill the price out for the pyros that, let's be honest, half the fields won't let us use for obvious safety reasons. So these are a safer alternative than just the pyros. And I'm not mad about that. In reality, I love these, and I'm definitely going to be getting more of these in the future, or at least different variants of them from Amazon, because Amazon has a good amount of these things, especially a stick grenade that I'm actually very interested in checking out. So, till then, ladies and gentlemen, a buy me link will be down below via evike and, of course, Amazon to basically give you the best grenades I could find for the price tag. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been AirsoftAL, and I shall see all you lovely, lovely people in the next video. And if you want to help support the channel, or even help sponsor future spring grenade reviews so I can go Aloha snack bar on some people, then please consider donating to the PayPal or Cash App down below. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been AirsoftAL, and I will see you all in the next video. Till next time, later. The version 2 grenade is much more sleek, much more slim, more aerodynamic. And this is going in the bloopers because we have animals coming in. Hello, Daisy. Hello, Daisy. You don't want to be here, girl. You do not want to be here. BBs are going to be flying all over the place, girl. Daisy is the dog. She's the dog. Just this. Adorable little cinnamon bun. It's causing the other dogs over here to go nuts. So, yeah, let me